Hello, my name is Morgan Chin. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're continuing our portfolio review series. So we're going to look at two portfolios and we're going to give some feedback. So if you're watching this video and you see something that I don't see and you have some other ideas, make sure to comment down below what you're thinking, what you're seeing. Give them some feedback, give them some glows and grows and just different things that you love and things that they can work on. And we're going to jump right in with our first portfolio. All right, so what I'm gonna try to do today is go a lot quicker than my last video. That one was a little long and I gave a ton of details. And it's great because if you're needing a lot of guidance, my last portfolio review would be really, really great for you because I went to all the details. This one, I'm not gonna go into every single little thing that could be improved or that I see. I'm just gonna try to focus on high level things. Okay, so we are here with our first portfolio and I think this person's name is Hari. I hope I'm saying that right. Looking at the first page really quickly, see a picture as well as a name, description. I see some projects, a little bit of information, nice big photos of these projects, awesome. And that's it. So at the top, hi, I'm Hari. I love this, I guess it's a Bitmoji. I think that's really cool, or a Memoji. With your name, product designer with HCI and CS background. I am inspired by empathy and impact to help people through design. I have 3 years experience designing a wide range of enterprise products. I'm looking for full-time opportunities. So, glows. Love that you have that picture of yourself, your name. It feels really personable. I really like that you tell us right away who you are, you're a product designer, so we know what kind of roles that you're looking for. We love that we have your background. That's really helpful. What inspires you, as well as how many years of experience you have, what you're doing and what you're looking for. Grows. This is a lot to read right away, and because you put it in a paragraph format, I have to really pay attention. Maybe there's a way to call out what's most important. To me, I would think that, you're a product designer, your background, I don't know how much that really matters right away. I feel like people get opportunities no matter what their background is, if you have the work to back it up. Cool, we have something about you that we should remember. We have your years of experience. So grows, I would say this is a lot to read, and because it's in paragraph format, I have to really go in and focus on reading what it says. Focus on very important couple words. What do we need to know about you? What positions are you looking for? Move on. All right, so first individual project, user research, usability, testing, user experience, and interface design. Enhancing post-ride experiences, reducing friction during cash payments and ride sharing and pick. Grows, love, love, love that you focused on telling us right away what kind of project this was. You told us what you did in the project, what it was called, and you told us about this project, and then you gave us these really awesome large pictures to show what this would look like. Good job. As I keep going, I see that seems to be a pattern here. So the next one says pipe candy, product strategy, user research, user experience, and interface design, location strategy map, an interactive map to explore promising DTC brands that help sell empty retail spaces. I am not familiar with pipe candy, and so I wonder, is that a company that you worked for? Is that the name of the product that you created? I'm not really sure, because the first one said individual project, and this one just says pipe candy. Is this an internship? Is it a team project? Is it another solo project? I'm not really sure. So that's something to improve. Otherwise, I think this looks great. The picture's huge. It's very clear to see what's going on. As I'm back at the top, I like that you have a clear distinction between your about, your resume. So I know where your resume is, and I like that you included the design challenges that you've done as well. So let's go ahead and click into the first project. We're looking at the first project, reducing friction during cash payments and ride sharing services. What is the name of this project again? I don't remember. I just see this description, which is awesome. But if I want to reference this, if I'm asking you questions, do I have to say, yeah, that project where you were reducing friction during cash payments and ride sharing service? That's a lot. So what is this called? Some glows. I love the top. It's awesome that you give us a preview of what it's going to look like, a description, and just quickly what kind of project, duration, your roles. I don't have to do a lot of straining to kind of sort through a paragraph. It's just right there, so I can quickly read it, and that's really awesome. One thing I'd like to know is, what tools did you use? That's typically important because I want to know if you have experience working with the tools that we work with at our company. Maybe that's something that you could include. I don't know if it's something you have to include. So as I keep going, I see situation, action, solution, research. Cool. I see a lot of research. Looks like personas, journey map, implications, wallet, prototypes. Cool. Usability testing, iteration, transfer credits, final design, limits, reflections, and takeaways. Awesome. So one pro about this is that Hari has all the sections that I would be personally wanting to view and look at, and they're so easy to see. If you see on this left-hand side, he has isolated the title or like the name of that section so that I can just quickly scroll and see what is going to be in this portfolio, and it looks like he has a lot of the pieces. One thing that he could do to improve that I'm seeing already, a lot of text. I know if you saw my last video, you know I'm gonna say that. A lot of paragraphs, and I don't know if I'm going to read all of that. I think you did a good job at, keeping it as minimal as you could, but see if you can narrow it down even more. That's the trick, guys. When we're doing portfolios, the hardest part really to me is the writing. How can you say what is most important in the fewest words possible? It is hard, I totally understand, but it's something that you need to get good at, because even when you're presenting at companies, you cannot have these big paragraphs on the slide to explain what you're doing. You're gonna lose people. They're gonna be reading or they're gonna be listening, but they can't do both. So how can you tell me the situation, the action, the solution, and as few words as possible to still help me understand what's going on? Okay, so I see the situation. You gave us a good background there to understand that this is an issue that comes after the ride is over, cash payments. For your action, I was kind of reading into that, and one thing it says, I started with contextual inquiry to understand the problem and similar experiences of people. So it kind of seems like as I keep reading, you're walking us through your process. I don't really think you need this section, because as we keep going, you are going to show us your process. So I don't even need to read that. Cut that out. You go straight to your solution and just show us your solution. Maybe there's some bullet points of like the key things, but you're gonna get into it later. So it's awesome that you just give us a sneak peek. You don't have to give us all the details yet. I love that this solution is giving us a walkthrough, like a prototype of what this is. We can see the flow of how it would look from the beginning to the end. And that's really, really important as well. Because not only do we have to design individual screens, but we're thinking about the whole user flow and how it goes from one part to the next. Does it make sense? Is it what users are expecting? These are things that we're gonna be looking for. So I think it's great that you included this. Okay, so kept going down. I definitely saw your research. I thought you had some great call outs there. Your personas, your journey maps. I do think the personas were nice. I really liked that you had the image and you put just an overview of that person's big pain point. So that's really awesome. And you had two different personas. You have the rider persona and the driver persona. For your implications, I think that this is great and this is huge. People forget that when you've done that research, you have those pain points, you need to tell us what the huge call outs are and how that is going to help you moving forward. So you have right here, for your design solution, these are things that we need to consider and that we need to design for. All right, so the next section that you have, you start talking about this wallet, and I'm guessing that's your design solution. One thing that I wonder is, where did that solution come from? I wonder if you brainstormed. Did you come up with a bunch of different ideas? Did you ask users for feedback on those ideas? How did you narrow it down to just this wallet? It seems like you jumped from, I need to design considering this, to, hey, here's a solution. But how do I know that that is the correct solution? I'm not really entirely sure. So I would definitely add that, like, hey, I brainstormed, I came up with these ideas, and I did this to identify that this was the best idea for the user. Then you go on to describe what it is, and it looks like you're giving us the flow. Okay, awesome. And then you have lo-fi prototypes. Love that the prototypes are big, huge, easy to see, and you're calling out the different sections. That's great. Love that you tested lo-fi prototypes with users in order to get their feedback. Really, really great. So important that you included this. Okay, so love the big, large screens and describing what each screen is. That's awesome. Here, I would kind of like to see that flow again that you had in the beginning where you're clicking through the different things. All right, so then I keep going and you end with reflections and takeaways. Awesome. I have been asked that before, like, what is your biggest learning from a project? And you already have this here so that you can quickly answer that question if you were in an interview. Good job there. I love that at the bottom you have all your projects, your pages, your contact information, and it is so organized. Hari, good job. I might like borrow this from you. I love this. This is so easy than just saying like, oh, navigate to the next page. They can know which project and just click one and go to that one. They can jump to different pages, or they can just contact you. This is brilliant, people. We should definitely be using this. Good job, Hari. Overall, I think you did a great job. Really good things in here, and of course, things that you can improve because we all need to improve. Hello, now we're gonna get into our second portfolio by Matthew. And one interesting thing about this portfolio is that it seems to be made in Figma. So this seems to be a new thing that's kind of coming about where people are using Figma to make a portfolio instead of websites. I think that's really interesting. You know, I don't hate it because I feel like a lot of times when you go in to do interviews, you have to give these presentations and portfolio walkthroughs. And with Figma, you can kind of quickly and easily turn that into a presentation that you're now presenting. You can move things around, you can navigate it and change it a lot easier. You can have different versions in there for different things. So this is really cool. Let's jump in. So right away, I see a big introduction to who he is, all about him. I see his projects. Oh, cool. So his name and his resume is kind of sticky. At the top, it stays there as you scroll. Awesome. So going in deeper, love the resume at the top. Like I said, most click page for me, and it's sticky. We see I'm Matthew, an industrial design student at Georgia Tech. My designs are driven by my curiosity, empathy, and creativity. Check out some of my favorite projects. Matthew, what kind of role do you want? Do you want to stay in industrial design? Are you trying to do research? Are you trying to do design, engineering, writing? What do you want? Do you want to do all of those things? That's something you can add. Otherwise, love this intro. We learn a little bit more about you. You're a student and you love to be curious. You're big on empathy and creativity. And then some of my favorite projects. That means he has more. So I like that. I always say that you don't need more than like 1 or 2 projects. In interviews, you really don't even have time to go through more than 1 or 2 projects, and recruiters probably are not going to go into 2 or 3. I was talking to my design manager and he was just saying, listen, we look at 1 project, maybe 2 if I'm really, really interested. They just don't have time because they have so many candidates that they have to go through. Give them 1 solid project and you're okay. Apply with that 1 project. I see Matthew has 3. Awesome. So a teleparty redesign. He did the UX design 9 weeks in 2021. Fitness Village, educational technology, UX design 5 weeks and in progress 2021. Square, I think that's how you say that. UX design 1 week 2021. And then you guys one under construction. So I like that he has images to what these things look like, y'all. That is important. I keep saying it because it's important. You need pictures of the actual thing that you design. Now I do have a question, Matthew, because it says UX design. But what in that did you actually do in that process? I mean, the UX design process is vast. Did you do the research? Did you brainstorm? Did you help ideate? Did you help with design? Did you do user testing? What did you specifically do? And I'm sure I'm gonna see that when I go into the page, but I wanna see it here. I also want a tiny description about what teleparty redesign is. What is Fitness Village? Like, a few words, quickly, just tell me what this project is that I'm going. I'm gonna jump right into the first project, Teleparty Redesign. Again, going into the first project because typically that's the one that's gonna be clicked. So if that's your best project, good job. If it's not, move your best project to be the first one. Ooh, transition, that was cool, okay. Teleparty Redesign, I see a little paragraph, nice huge photo, good job Matthew. Continuing down, I see group role, timeline, problem, solution, research, user flow, creation, cool. Nice big screens, reflection, and next steps, awesome. So I see a lot of parts of the UX design process that I'm looking for. I see nice big photos. Good job here. One thing to consider, which I do not do on my portfolio, so it's fine if you don't do it. I know with some things it's harder to do. Is there a way for me to get back to the top of the page without having to scroll all the way back up? I think about this in your portfolio and in Hari's and in a few others and in mine. You get all the way to the bottom with all that stuff and then you gotta like scroll all the way back up. Is there a button or something that could just quickly take you back to the top? That is nitpicky though, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, so first thing, Teleparty Redesign. Really big paragraph, too much to read right away. I don't wanna read this yet. I'm not sure if I'm invested. So move this down, show me that big, beautiful, wonderful photo right at the top. Like I just wanna see it, just draw me in. Then tell me, what is this called? And then go into this awesome, like here's my group, here's my role, here's my timeline. I love when people put their group members. Give credit to your group members. Let us know that you worked in a group. There's no shame in your game, okay? We work as teams all the time. Now we see the role. You did user research, lo-fi prototyping, wireframes, user testing, and UI design. Cool. Put that on the homepage so that I know what specific things that you did. It seems like you did a lot of things. So what kind of role are you looking for? Do you want to be a researcher, a designer? Or do you want to do it all? Problem, you have really big headings. Good job. Really easy for me to see what I'm looking at. Okay, so you give us a little background here, and you give us some bullet points. I think you could have either or. I don't know if you really need both. The little paragraph is small enough, that I feel like, okay, I might read this to get some background. The bullet points are even better. So think about that. As I go into the solution, same thing. I see the paragraph, I see the bullet points. I don't know if you need the bullet points. I don't know if you need the paragraph. I think maybe you could have like one sentence, picture of what you did, because as they go down, they're gonna dive into in detail what your solution was. Then we go into research, okay? He's basically telling us how he decided on what research methods he was going to do. More so important if you want to be a researcher or someone that does all of those things. Love that he bolds the thing that's most important that we need to focus on. Because if I am quickly scanning and I don't have a lot of time, I can jump to these red texts and get the main idea for each section. That's always a really good idea. Between survey and interviews, is there a more visual way that you can tell this same story of what you found? Something to consider. See your affinity diagram. I feel like we all love to include that to just show our process, what we do with our research, which is cool. We have empathy maps and personas. No real comments here, as well as a user flow. For your wireframes, think about making those bigger or making it so that I can actually click on this. This is Figma. Is it possible that I can click on this and actually be taken to the wireframes that you probably made in Figma and then go through it myself and then maybe be navigated back? I don't know. Like, is there a way to do that? Is there a way to make it within this section that I can interact with it in that way, because this is Figma? You can do a lot more here, but I like that you included the wireframes. And then we have final screen. Okay, so question, how did you get from your personas and your research to your wireframes? Okay, so I see the wireframes. I kind of want a little bit more about the feedback to how you knew what wireframe would be better and how you picked one over the other. Okay, then with your final screens, I think you can do a little bit more to make it more clear what these features are that you added and how they go back to the pain points you identified in order to address those things and meet your user needs. Then you have your reflection. Okay, So reflection and next steps, I mean, I understand that's gonna be more writing than other sections, so totally understand that. And again, great that you even have these sections, especially for next steps, because you do get asked that. What would you do if you had more time? What would be your next steps? And you have those here, so good job on that. Overall, I think you have a good start here. I think I want a little bit more details. This might be my personal preference. When you did your research, what were the key things you found to inform your design? What were the how might we's? What were like the things we need to design for? What were those main like issues? I kind of can see it in the graphics you have, but I want you to spell it out so that I can just easily read it. Love the large pictures. That is really, really awesome. Love that you have large titles, subheadings, really easy for me to see what's going on here, very clear. So overall, really good job. Again, of course, we all can improve, so great things and some things that can be improved. So guys, we're gonna stop here for today. If you have any other comments or things you noticed that I did not address, please comment below in the comment section down below and let the people know what you see. I don't know everything. I'm gonna keep telling you this. I am also someone who's new to this. I am learning. I'm sharing what I have learned, but there's so much more for me to learn. So if you're someone with a bit more experience, or even if you don't and you just notice something else, comment and let people know what they can do to improve. I hope you have a wonderful day and thanks for tuning in. Bye.